All employees are required to submit a timesheet indicating which projects they worked on in that period. Timesheets are important because it's how we collect information for job costing and other accounting reports. We utilize a web-based program called Web Timesheets, which you can access from the employee dashboard. We use Web Timesheets for expense reports as well.
Hey, I need to submit my timesheet. How do I get started?
It's actually pretty intuitive once you get started. Here, I'll show you. First, you need to add a project. Click on the Add Remove Task button and then find your project on the available project list on the left side. Check the project and move it to the right using the arrow button. If you aren't certain of the job number you're working on, ask your supervisor as they will know. If you don't see the project you need, you can email wts@cicusa.com and request to have that project added to your available project list to select from. You can post time to multiple projects in a single timesheet period. Just select projects from the Add Remove Task button. You can use the green plus icon to add more project lines or the red X icon to delete lines. Then, post the number of hours to each project you worked on that day. You can even split time between multiple projects in a single day. To enter your time, just click on the box under Date and enter the number of hours you worked. The comment box is where you can enter a description of what you did that day. This doesn't need to be an exhaustive diary, but we found it very helpful to have a log. For instance, if you are a field surveyor and you were unable to get to sites because of rain, please make a comment about that here.
Do I have to enter a comment?
Your each project manager will give you direction about how much detail they would like in the comments section. However, if you're working in a customer's office, be sure to note when the customer's office was closed due to a holiday or company in-service.
What does the pull-down menu billable mean?
Your timesheet may have a field for billable or non-billable. This tells us in the accounting office whether to send the customer a bill for your time, if the project is hourly or a monthly rate. If you aren't certain whether your project is billable, be sure to ask your supervisor or the project manager who will know.
Okay, great, but what about time off for a holiday or vacation? Do I need to enter that on my timesheet too?
Yes, there's an easy way to enter time off on your timesheet so it doesn't get posted to a project. I'll show you how. To show time off, click on the Add Time Off button. Time off includes holidays, vacation, sick days, and time off without pay. Use the pull-down menu to select the type of time off you used. Holidays are always noted with an icon, so they'll be easy to remember. For holidays and vacation days, be sure to enter only 8 hours. Like projects, you can have multiple types of time off in a single period. Some people like to take a vacation day next to a holiday. In this case, you'll have 2 types of time off in that period.
Okay, the timesheet makes sense. What about submitting an expense report?
Expenses are a little more detailed, but once you get the hang of it, it will be easy. There are a few things I should tell you about expense reports. Okay. Expense reimbursements are paid with your paycheck twice a month. The reimbursement is broken out separately from your gross wages on your pay stub and shows as a line called reimbursement. But don't worry, expense reimbursements are not subject to employment taxes or other deductions. A list of allowable travel expenses is found in the Employee Handbook, and there's also a link on the Web Timesheets page that summarizes them. Be sure you understand what you are authorized to expense before you make a purchase. Submit your expenses right away. Do not hold them. Expenses older than 30 days are considered stale and may not be reimbursed. We need to receive your expenses quickly for 2 reasons. Number 1, so that our financial reports are timely and current. Number 2, many of our customers have cutoff dates for invoicing expenses. If you hold receipts, CIC may not be able to invoice the customer, and that becomes a loss. We have a limit of 1 expense report per pay period. If you submit more than 1 expense report, they will both be rejected and you will be asked to combine them into 1 single report and then resubmit for approval.
So let's see if I understand this. I can submit 1 expense report per period, and I need to submit my expenses right away. I won't hold on to them, I promise. Then I'll see my reimbursement on my pay stub, which means it'll be direct deposited. Finally, I should look at the allowable expenses list or talk to my manager.
You got it. Now I'll show you how to submit your expense report. Click on the calculator icon at the top of the screen. Then click on the Add Expense Report button to get a report started. First, enter your name and the pay period in the top description field. I recommend saving the report at this point and be sure to save frequently as you enter expenses, because if your computer times out or your internet connection is disrupted, all of your work will be lost. Next, you need to select the project for which you incurred the expense. Then, for each receipt you have, complete a line. Enter the date of the receipt, then a description. Your expense report tells the story behind each receipt you send us. So please be as specific and as detailed as you can when completing the description. Tell us where you bought it and why you bought it. The description field can hold lots of words, so don't try to keep it short. Then use the pull-down menu to tell us what you bought. Look for the item that best describes the expense. The Bill Client box tells us in finance to invoice the customer. We will invoice the customer for any item that you've checked the Bill Client box. So please only check this box if you know for certain that the customer is to be billed. If you're not certain, ask your supervisor or the project manager who will know. Click the Reimburse box so we know to reimburse you. Then enter the amount of the receipt. Repeat this process for every receipt you have. If you need more lines, click the Add button and 3 more lines will appear. Click the X icon to remove extra lines that you don't need. Just like with the timesheet, you can post expenses to more than one job. Just click the Add Project button to add a new section and select another project number. You can move lines to another project by clicking the green arrow icon. When you're ready to submit your expense report, be sure to click the Submit button.
Okay, that seems easy enough. Do I have to send in the receipts too?
Yes, to comply with both the IRS requirements and our customers' requirements, you need to submit detailed expense receipts for all expenses. Tape your receipts to an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper so the receipts don't overlap. Then write your name on each page. Expense reports are processed for payment when your receipts are received by payroll. You don't have to send in original receipts. To make it easier for you, there are 3 ways you can send in a digital copy of your receipt: by fax, email, or you can scan and upload them directly to Web Timesheets. If you don't have access to a fax machine or scanner, you can take a photograph of your receipts and email or upload the photo. Please be sure that receipts in the photo are easy to read. Of course, you can send them via snail mail as well, but CIC does not reimburse postage for submitting your receipts via the mail or FedEx. If you do decide to mail in original, be sure to make a copy of your receipts just in case they get lost in the mail.
That's great. I like the idea of uploading to Web Timesheets.
Sometimes a timesheet or expense report may get rejected.
Rejected?
Don't worry, usually an approver just needs additional information from you. By rejecting your timesheet or expense report, the system allows you to make a modification and resubmit. If your timesheet or expense report is rejected, you'll get an email from Web Timesheets. Just log in to Web Timesheets and click on the rejected link on the left-hand side. Make the corrections as per the message and then resubmit.
Okay, that makes sense. How do I ask for time off? I have a trip to Vegas planned.
That one is easy. I'll show you. When you're ready to take time off for a vacation or personal time, use Web Timesheets to submit your request to your CIC supervisor. In Web Timesheets, click on button labeled Book Time Off, then enter in the dates you want to take off. If your time off spans 2 weeks, be sure to submit 2 requests that include only weekdays. If you include weekends or a holiday, Web Timesheets will deduct those days from your accrued balance. If you're working in a customer's office or on a project, email the Market Project Manager in advance for their approval before you request it through Web Timesheet. You want to be sure that your absence won't affect a project first. If you're going to take a leave of absence outside of vacation time, please contact Human Resources for a LOA form. It's a simple process and HR can assist you.